So, you guys had seen the title, and yes, this is indeed my very first versus video talking about two Bible characters, okay? So, with all that out of the way, let me introduce you to our two competitors. On one corner, we have the Leviathan, Chaos Incarnate. And on the other end, we have Michael, the Angel of War. Both of these characters are very related to the end times and are very powerful in their own right. So let's get into it and ask the question. Michael the Archangel versus the Leviathan. Who would win? Now let's get into Michael. So, angels in the Bible have been consistently been compared to stars, whether it would be symbolically or literally. They are at least comparable to stars, with stars such as our sun being able to produce multi-continental amounts of energy per second. And Michael has shown to be at least comparable to people like Lucifer, who should be in the same category. So Michael has shown some cool and consistent multi-continental level scaling. And this is consistent because God, without even trying, just proving points, can break through mountains, destroy cities, and even split the waters away. All of these being calculated to either mountain, to city, to even maybe island level. So multi-continental is pretty good. And also, if you want, you could say that Michael should scale to God flooding the earth, which is another multi-continental feat, but it could also be bumped up to moon level if you really wanted to. But you can argue much higher, because angels aren't bound by space and time. So you can argue universal to universal plus if you want. So yeah, apart from that, there isn't really anything that really shows that Michael is above that. Universal Plus is where he caps. And as for speed, there really isn't anything in there to explain the speeds of angels, but they can teleport, which doesn't automatically translate to how fast they can move. But you can assume that since Michael is fighting somebody that is bright as the sun, or can dodge their attacks potentially, because aka Lucifer, you can say that he has faster than light speed, or FTL. But yeah, that's all of Mike's scaling. With that out of the way, let's get into the other creature that will appear in the end. And now let's get to our other contender, the Leviathan. Okay, so its scaling is also pretty weird, so I'll explain my best. It's Chaos Incarnate, so it should scale to multi-continental because of the raging sea. So yeah, that is pretty good. But there are also some other things. Since it's Chaos Incarnate, it should scale to like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions and all that stuff, which can get it all the way from town all the way to island level when it comes to scaling. But that's not going to be important. You could say that since it is a angel as well, it should also scale to universal or universal plus. But again, those are some interpretations. But thanks to the fact that it is a prince of hell, that would mean that it is an angel, since the princes of hell are just angels falling down to the bowels of hell. But anyways, not as hard as I expected. And as for speed, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't even fight any of the angels. It just exists and then dies from God. But yeah, that's its scaling. So overall, who wins? And honestly, this is very close when it comes to it. Both should scale to those town to city to mountain to island, all the way to multi-continental at their lows and mid-ends. And at the high ends, they also should scale relatively the same. And as for speed, Michael takes it. So, who do I think will win? Well, it's kind of hard to actually figure out who will win this fight, because they're just so comparable to each other until you take in effect God. Now, me being Captain Obvious, God is very powerful. He is one of the only people that can actually just one-shot this Leviathan. And here's where it gets special. You see, Michael can actually amp himself just by using some of God's power, or praying, or whatever. But what I'm saying is that he can amp himself. How do I know that this is an amp? Well, for one thing, and the main thing, is that he is shown to be relative to Lucifer without using God's prayer or praying to God for strength. But when he does use that as an amp, he surpasses Lucifer and just beats him up. So with the amp, he is basically just several times stronger than somebody he was relative to without it. So I would see this going similar to how the fight between Lucifer and Michael gone. They have shown relatively, but then God will then just give Michael the amp, and then boom, save the day. So yeah, if you want a winner, Michael's the winner if you give him the God amp. But if you are asking who would win without amps, well, I don't know. But in short, without amps, I don't know. But with amps, Michael. So anyways, that's it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side.